What's good, everybody? Saw Politicon 2018 for the last few days, and I got a few things that I wanted to commentate on from the commentators or the guests on the panel, and the how the fuck can we get along in regards to the left and the right, politically and things like that. The first few seconds of it, it seemed like, nah, we can't, because it kind of devolved into a kind of Andy Warski blood sports type of thing going on, but it got a little bit more civil during the middle and then kind of devolved towards the end there. But basically, I only wanted to comment on basically what Bakari Sellers was saying. Yeah, Bakari Sellers on there, Michael Knowles, Charlie Kirk, Roman Millennial, and Kyle Kalinske. And the takeaway, I think, at least from what the comment section looks like, and what from everybody was cheering and booing, was that Michael Knowles is pretty much a dick. Yeah, I don't think he's a dick. He's a hyper partisan, just like Bakari Sellers, and just like somebody like probably David Pakman. Hyper partisans. But the thing is that, at least not from what I've seen, Michael Knowles isn't going to lie to you in order to get his point across. I haven't really seen that much of David Pakman, but I saw a recent little debate that he had with that nutbag Jesse Lee Peterson, and David was doing a little dodge and a little misleading to try and keep his point across, but I mean, he was sitting across from somebody that was just way out there, so maybe he was just trying to be an asshole on purpose, I don't know, but yeah, he was doing a little bit of dodging, a little bit of, I won't say straight lying, but because there was just a bunch of questions that he wouldn't give a straight answer to. But I think the reason he wouldn't give a straight answer is because he knows that it would ding him with his base. Or maybe he really believes it, I don't know. But yeah, Michael Knowles, everybody, most people anyway, didn't like him because he's setting his views. And that's fine. As long as you don't lie to try and get him across, then yeah. Basically, most of the stuff that I see from Michael Knowles is that basically, yeah, my side's in the right. And if somebody brings up something legitimate that his side does wrong, he goes back into whataboutism, like, well, yeah, but Hillary Clinton did this, or this politician did this, so, hey, turnabout is fair play. That's Michael Knowles' thing, which, he gets some good points across, but being hyper-partisan I don't think really helps, which is what I wanted to commentate on about Bakari Sellers and Kyle Kalinske. Because Kyle Kalinske is edging closer and closer to that hyper-partisan label. So it starts off with them talking about abortion, and immediately Bakari Sellers shuts that down, because I don't have a problem with him shutting it down, because obviously it's not a point where the left and right are going to agree. There's not really any middle ground there. But the way he does it, he's like, yeah, we can talk about abortion and we can talk about race, but I don't want to get bogged down by that. Let's talk about something of substance. Well, you can't really get too more substantive than the issue of life and race. Those are like two of the original issues ever since civilization began. But I get what he's saying. Where he fucks up is when Charlie Kirk tries to call him out by saying that, well, in regards to race, you kind of were pretty racist against Kanye West. And immediately, Bakari Sellers is like, nope. Well, here's the exchange right here.
On cable news, you said when Kanye West entered the Oval Office, this is what happens when black people don't read. Do you regret?
That's not what I said.
What did you say?
Well, let's actually, if we want to go back and
No, I mean, the tape said this is what happens when black people don't
That's
read.
not what I said.
What did you say?
I actually said that this is a discussion, and my major issue with Kanye West is that he attempts to make anti-intellectualism cool. And what I said is that
you said this is what happens when black people
That's not what I said.
That's what the transcript
actually I said, Charlie, you asked me a question, so I will answer.
I said you regret.
No, I don't regret anything, Charlie. So this is the point.
So
I said that, that's not what I said. If you want to know what I said, I'm attempting to tell you. I said that I have a problem with Kanye West because he attempts to make anti-intellectualism cool. I said there are many people who want to talk about criminal justice reform who will not send Kanye West to the White House to do that. I said Kanye West is what happens when Negroes don't read. You know what that is? That is a fact.
So you did say it.
I said Kanye West is what happened when Negroes don't read.
That's what I just said.
No, that's not what you just said.
He's a genius.
Wait, I was...
Time out.
He's a genius.
Time out. What is...
All right. So you see how he lied. And that's the only thing that I really just don't like. Being dishonorable, lying to mislead people in order to get your point of view across. Now, if you're doing that just in a regular debate where nothing really matters, you're just arguing with somebody, okay, fine. But you're trying to influence policies, influence votes. Don't lie when you do that. That shit's fucking repugnant. Don't fucking lie when you do that. He says, I didn't say that Kanye is what happens when black people don't read. I said Kanye is what happens when Negroes don't read. Come the fuck on, man. You were calling Kanye a house nigger. How do I know that? Because the woman that was on the panel with you on CNN, that I'm going to show in a second, pretty much said that Kanye is a house nigger.
But now all of a sudden Kanye, because he's put on a MAGA hat and he's an attention whore like the president, he's all of a sudden now the model spokesperson. He's the token Negro of the Trump administration. This is ridiculous.
She said token Negro, but she meant house nigger, and so did you. Yeah, you say that you was going off of a joke from Chris Rock, but Chris Rock's a comedian, you're not. You are involved in politics. You know exactly what you're doing. You're saying he's a house nigger because he doesn't agree with your politics and he's showing support for somebody that you think is a Nazi. Well, okay, I don't know if you think that, but you probably would agree if somebody was on your CNN panel and said that, oh yeah, Trump is like a Nazi dictator from the third, you'd probably be there being like, you wouldn't say anything, but you'd be. And that's the shit that's just fucking retarded. Trump ain't no goddamn Nazi. I'm not really a supporter of Trump. I mean, I have enough honor to admit and honesty to admit that there are a lot of good things that he's been doing. There's some things that you might want to say is fucked up. That's fine. But there's a lot of good things that he's been doing too. Fucked up things like he's continuing the wars overseas. He's continuing the situation between Saudi Arabia and Yemen. And he's increasing drone strikes and he's doing all this other fucked up shit. Yeah. But he's also doing a lot of good stuff as far as getting people back to work, even if they're low-paying jobs. Having a job is better than not having a low-paying job is better than not having a job at all. And you have the ability to advance in that job, even if you're a janitor. I've known janitors that's worked at a company and then they transferred within the company to become security or to become part of cash operations to where they're making a lot more money. So you can start off low and then you work your way up to being in a good position. But you can't do that if you don't have a job at all, and Trump is getting people more jobs with his policies, or Congress is, or whatever, but his administration is. And to say that that's not, helping is just being fucking disingenuous, all right? And the shit that Bakari Sellers said about Kanye is one of the main things that's wrong in politics. It's like, everybody's got a team, and if you say anything, even if you consider yourself on that team, you say anything that is in contradiction to that team, then you're a traitor. And with Bakari Sellers, it's a step worse because he's saying that Kanye is a race traitor. Now, I'm not a huge fan of Kanye. I've never been really that big of a fan of his music. I like T.I.'s music and Trick Daddy and things like that, guys like that. But yeah, I haven't seen anything from him that would suggest he's a race traitor. He fucking said that Bush doesn't care about black people. And nobody expected him to say that. He just said it because he's like, I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say and I don't give a fuck about what y'all think of me. And that's exactly what he's doing right now. But notice now all of a sudden he's too mentally ill. He's too fucking crazy. He shouldn't be able to, it's not that you're saying he shouldn't even, it's not even the fact that you're saying he shouldn't say these things. It's like you're saying he shouldn't be able to. Nobody should listen to him. Well, a lot of people are. And I don't think that a fucking celebrity should be the one who fucking dictates people's political views or anything like that. But again, he's not really trying to do that. And a point to that is brought up by Charlie Kirk when I think it's Bakari who tries to challenge him by saying like, oh, you said that you're bashing Taylor Swift, but you won't bash Kanye. You don't want celebrities in politics, but you're bashing one and not the other. And Charlie Kirk's like, yeah, well, Taylor Swift went in on female Republican candidates and said, yeah, you know what, I haven't said anything about politics in a long time, but you know what, you should vote for Democrats because Republicans are racist and sexist. They are against women's rights. So don't vote for these female candidates. Vote for this Democratic male candidate. And look, I don't give a fuck about female or male. You know, we're all individuals, and prove yourself on merit and your ideas and all that good stuff. But Charlie had a point, and I don't think too many people expected to be agreeing with Charlie as much as they did, especially not me, since he's linked up with Candace Owens, who has her own questionable background. But hey, I'm not hating on her because she's done some good things, especially exposing the hypocrisy of the New York Times with the whole racist Sarah Jung thing, her racist comments on Twitter and everything like that. And I don't think that anybody should be fired for their job from comments that they made on some social media or whatever. But hey, New York Times, if it was somebody saying something about minorities, they'd fire them. Sarah Jung, she gets promoted. That's hypocrisy. That's in like the lowest form. That's a part of supporting bigotry. But anyways, Charlie Kirk says, yeah, well, Kanye didn't say not vote for anybody. He just said, I like what Trump is doing in these areas here, and here, and I'm getting bullied by people who a minute ago loved me because they thought I was on their team, but now they think I'm on the other team, so now they're saying that I shouldn't even speak. And if I do speak, I'm a race traitor. So, yeah, Bakari Sellers, partisan fucking idiot. Last thing, Kyle Kalinske, he's starting to become like hyper partisan too. And if he did it like Michael Knowles is, where Michael Knowles doesn't look, I haven't seen anything where Michael Knowles like intentionally, deliberately fabricates things to try and mislead people to get his point across. He's just hyper partisan, but he admits it on his show and he goes forward. Kyle admits his biases too on his show, but he's starting. Well, anyway, at the end they got into because of the Taylor Swift and Kanye thing and the issue of feminism came up. They tried to defend Taylor Swift bashing the female Republican. I think it was Susan Collins, but I'm not 100% sure. They tried to defend her bashing that Republican because they say she's anti-woman. But then Charlie Kirk comes back and says, well, she supported a bunch of pro-female initiatives and policies and things like that. She just voted no on the Violence Against Women Act. And then Kyle blurts out, you vote against the Violence Against Women Act, you're anti-woman. That's not true. Research it for a minute. Even the CDC says that domestic violence between men and women is almost equal. It's like 50-something percent committed by men and 40-something percent committed by women. And women initiate it more than men do, meaning women start the fight before men do. Now, obviously, men are physically more stronger than women, you know, in general. And a lot of people on the left-wing side won't believe that because they are, as much as they call the right-wing anti-science for the whole climate thing, they're anti-science on the whole biology thing. So it's not good on either side. But yeah, men are going to be the ones who, at least what the data shows right now, because it still hasn't been looked into enough, but the data shows that more men kill their partners in domestic violence situations than women do, because obviously they have more brute strength, you know, with their bare hands. But women mostly use poison or weapons or things like that, or they get somebody else, another man, to come over and beat the crap out of the dude. Sometimes it's true and sometimes it's a lie. When they're accusing the guy of domestic violence or rape or whatever, they get another guy to come over and beat the crap out of him and things like that. But the reason why Kyle is completely wrong when he says you vote against the Violence Against Women Act, then you're anti-woman, is because the Violence Against Women Act is anti-male. And that's just a fact. Once again, not an opinion, it's a fact. The Violence Against Women Act was in part created by Joe Biden, who had a very messy childhood. He was hit by his sister, and his parents didn't allow him to defend himself because the rule there was You can't hit a woman if you're a man, regardless. Okay, you're a man and you're married and you got kids. Some crazy woman comes up and starts beating the crap out of you and your family. What are you going to do? Just stand there? Hey, wifey, beat this woman up. I can't do it. It's a woman. I'm a man. If I do it, then I'm in the wrong. Just because I'm a man. No, you're going to defend yourself and you're going to defend your family. Every individual has a right to defend themselves. But the Violence Against Women Act is predicated on the Duluth Model. The Duluth Model is, the main thing of it is the primary aggressor. This is what's trained the police officers. They go to a domestic violence situation, automatically they arrest the man. Regardless of if the man never even laid a hand on the woman, he just was like dodging lamps getting thrown at him, dodging her, scratching him with her nails, dodging her, punching him in the face and bloodying up his nose and giving him a black eye and all that type of shit. You see all these pictures in domestic violence ads with a beaten up woman, you know, with a black eye or something, looking like she's going to cry or whatever. Okay, there's plenty of pictures like that with men too. And those men, when you see them in those pictures, they were the ones arrested, even though they weren't the ones being violent. That goes against everything in regards to justice and fairness. If you're getting assaulted in your own house by your partner, that person who's causing the violence should be the one that's taken away. But according to the Violence Against Women Act, men are the one that get taken away. Because like I said in one of my previous videos, our whole species is protect women. That's just what it is. It's protect women. So you see this is why Karen Strawn, who isn't really a popular figure on the left either. They think she's some crazy right-winger. She's not. But she even explains that, look, women have a higher pitch in their voice than men do. Women have more, their features of their face, like in general, it looks more, you know, babyish. You know, there's more fat in their cheeks and things like that. It looks more babyish. Why? They evolved that way. Why? Because when you look at a kid and you see a kid crying or you see somebody trying to hurt a kid, even if you don't know that kid at all, you're going to be like, hey, that's fucked up. Get the fuck away from that kid. Same thing with women. Now, with kids, it's both men and women who will try to defend the kid. But with women, men will try and defend the woman. They don't care if the woman is in the wrong. Go to any dive bar. Go to any regular place that regular people go. Go to a fucking arcade or something. Walk down the street. If a woman comes up and starts beating the crap out of you and then you give her one good punch to the face and knock her down and she starts screaming and crying and shit, any man that sees that is going to run up and be like, hey man, what you doing, man? Hey man, that's a female, man. Leave that. I mean, look, nobody should fucking attack somebody out of the blue. Yeah, men are stronger than women. Don't hit women. Okay, well, women shouldn't hit men either, but we don't give as much importance to that as we do with men don't hit women. That's why you have all these initiatives from feminism, he for she, lean in for women, men can stop rape, all this shit. It's all bigoted, all right? It's all bigoted. And the Violence Against Women Act is a bigoted law that's in place right now. And this Republican woman voted no on it. Now, that might not be the reason she voted no. She might have voted no just because she's right-wing and she's partisan and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. But just because she voted no on that does not make her anti-woman. But that's the way it's set in Kyle's mind, it seems. I've seen a lot of videos of him talking about feminism, and he says like, yeah, I don't like the Mick feminism where it's fake feminism where you're just pretending to care about women's rights just to get votes. Yeah, he's right about that, and I agree with him on that. But when it comes to actual real deep issues like something like the Violence Against Women Act, it's already set in his head that feminism right, MRAs wrong. MRAs being men's rights activists are left-wing right because they support feminism, right-wing wrong because they don't. You have two people, one that's actually right-wing and one that's not. Tammy something, she's on Fox News a lot, I can't remember her last name, and then Warren Farrell. Both of them were presidents of the National Organization for Women. Both of them fight, I hate saying fight for because you're not actually fighting. Both of them advocate for women's rights. But the thing that got them scorned and ostracized by the feminist movement and left-wing, the left-wing side, you know, Democrats and progressives and things like that, is because they criticize all the bad things that feminism is doing to our society. Like take Title IX that Obama put in. Title IX was supposed to be that it makes it so you can't deny female participants in sports. If they want to make a team, then they should be able to make a team, a sports team or whatever. They shouldn't be denied resources to be able to do that. That's a good thing. Like, everybody should be able to have the opportunity to make their own sports teams or whatever. But what did feminism do? It took it and it brought it into the area of rape, where if a man gets accused of rape, then he's guilty. And there's no guilty, not guilty. It goes on. It doesn't go with reasonable doubt. It goes with the preponderance of evidence, meaning that if it just looks like, if there's credible evidence one way, it doesn't matter if there's credible evidence that refutes it. As long as there's a little bit of credible evidence one way, then he's guilty, he's expelled. And that's been happening for years. And now it's finally starting to blow up and it's also starting to turn back on women too, because now they're getting accused and they can't defend themselves because the dude just was smart enough to go first. It shouldn't be that way. But that's what feminism is doing. So no, Kyle, it's not if you vote against that, you're anti-woman. All right, you're anti-woman if you're anti-woman, and that's it. Feminism got you and Cenk Uygur kicked out of the Justice Democrats as leaders. That didn't open your eyes. If that didn't do it, I don't know what will. But and you fucked up on the whole Judge Kavanaugh thing too. That was feminism in full display. Innocent till proven guilty? No, he's a man. He's guilty because a woman said so. There was no credible evidence. Okay, you're wrong on all of that. And if you don't drop this partisan shit, identity politics, you say you're against identity politics, but doesn't really seem like you want to go against the main contender of identity politics, which is feminism. You don't want to go against that because that's your base. Alexandria Cortez, I won't debate Ben Shapiro because he's catcalling me. He feels entitled to have me come and do what he wants. That's identity politics. That's feminism. And that's stupid. She was just scared to debate him. Okay? Just fucking admit that shit. Move on. Tell the truth. But yeah, that was my whole, for that panel at least, the takeaway, because I don't like political bias, but bias is going to be there. But I don't like it when that bias makes the people speaking try and mislead their audience in order to vote or support policies that they want or vote the way that they want. So you have to distance yourself from that, or it's all going to fall apart from you. But that's what I got on that one. Y'all have a good one. Peace.